Hello, welcome to Staillo Gaming. I'm an aspiring indie game developer currently working on a short free horror game. My goal for this month was to add some gameplay because right now it's pretty straightforward with not much storyline. So here's a month-long devlog of everything I worked on in November. I started off with some visual aids for the player. I created doors that the player can unlock as their first task to the game, and added some lighting so that we can see the customers' faces better. And because of that, now the player can turn on the lights. Notice how you can now turn on the appliances, but the crosshair doesn't really tell you what you're going to be doing when you interact with the appliances or with anything that has a white outline. Because of this, I added text cues for when the player hovers over something. I tried doing the same for what ingredient comes out of each cardboard box, but I have to rename them. But yeah, the same goes for anything the player can pick up and interact with. I tried testing the customer interaction text, but he rammed into me, which leads us into bugs. The most simplest way I could think of adding gravity was to add a rigid body to the player and enable the use gravity button. Easy. But that didn't work. Stupid, stupid, stupid! Even after freezing the player's rotations, the gravity didn't work. I added another player object with a rigid body to see if there's just a problem with the main player or if the blame's on Unity, not on me. Let's watch. I forgot I was messing around with these physics settings, so this should work now. Perfect. I was still confused on why gravity was working for the clone but not for the player. So I added all the scripts the player had to the clone, and what do you know? After I added a character controller, gravity doesn't work for the clone either! Stupid, stupid, stupid! I searched far and wide on the internet for a solution. To save you some time and sanity, basically character controller can mess with the rigid body's gravity, so I just made some changes to remove character controller, and now gravity finally works. I'm pretty sure that's all I was using character controller for, not sure. So because I fixed that, I'm prepared to know that I broke something else, and I did! When the player is holding an item and looks down, the player starts moving on their own, which turned out to be that the items box collider is pushing the player's rigid body. The only fix I could think of was programming it so that if the player is holding an item, that item's box collider will be disabled. And now it doesn't push the player anymore. Let's just pray to the game dev gods that nothing else breaks after this. Another thing I realized after you give the customers their food, they inhale it within the millisecond they receive their order. So I decided to make some cutesy to-go bags. I wanted to fix the walking animation since it looks like a skinwalker trying to walk like a human. What really helped me was seeing an animation of someone walking, and it looks pretty good. I also created an eating animation for when the doors close on the last set of customers, and there's really nothing else to do in that situation but to eat. Lastly, I created a crawl animation for maybe Queso's character. I was trying to think of something funny for him, and that's all I could come up with when I was sleep deprived at 3 AM. So that's why this monstrosity exists. Putting it in game, the animation is looking like the customer is limping. Honestly, I'll take it. I also worked on having them do their idle animation once they reach the counter. So finally, it's looking like a real game. Yeah, throughout this time, I've been playing Arc Raiders to relax. Extremely relaxing game. It's pretty much everything. My goal for December will be getting my game ready for playtesting. I'm going to ask my friends to playtest it, see if there's any more bugs, what's fun and what isn't fun, what works and what doesn't, shit like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!